the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Somebody's gotta stand up. Somebody's gotta do what's right. We rise because we're fed up. Got our house in order and got yours inside. I am American. What I am, what I think, and what I do. I am American, that's what I am, and I bleed red, white, and blue.
Alrighty, good morning, everyone. Sorry about that. Let me get everything squared away, and there we go. Alrighty, I forgot to do something right before when I started music. I forgot to do something, so that's what happens. All right, good morning, Super Dave Show. It's April 28th, and glad to be back. Wondering why? I don't have my mask on. I don't have a mask. But, hey, you can take it off now. Outside. But there's stipulations. President Trump, listen to me. President Biden, yes, he's president, is telling us that it's okay to take it off if you're outside. Only, you better run off and get it now, only if you get a vaccination. So you're in good shape now. All you have to do is get the vaccination. Everything's ready to go. Aren't you happy? Aren't you just pleased as can be? Get that vaccination and you'll be in good shape. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, why in the world, I'm dead serious, why in the world does anybody listen to this guy? I don't think anybody does. But I wonder what Fauci's saying now. Fauci was telling everybody, even if you get the vaccination, you need to wear it. But I have to tell you how absolutely ridiculous the left is right now. They are, I was reading the comments and they're saying, there's no way I'm going outside without a mask unless all those no-maskers get a vaccination. They have this down. I mean, the amount of stupidity with people today is unbelievable. I mean, really, it's hard to believe, isn't it? It's hard to believe that there's so many stupid people out there. But there are. Get used to it. I'm just amazed. By the way, starting next Monday, I'll go back to normal. Everything should be fine, I guess. I'm going to do my best not to get in trouble anymore. It's been a whole month of this is horrible. I hate it with a passion. It doesn't help. And anyway, I just can't wait till it's over. And what I'm talking about, in case you're wondering what I'm talking about, is this garbage. I have to go through Wendy's. Wendy is nice enough to post my show, and that's why I'm doing it. So anyway, we'll be there. Everything will be back to normal on Monday, and I hope, and as long as I live through it, everything will be fine. But I just put down about CDC because I'm amazed that people even listen to these. They're not even, what gives them the right? And what gets me are so many people, good morning, there's so many people out there who believe whatever the government tells them. And then they overthink it and they go, wait a minute, they're telling us this, but I'm not ready for it. So when you see people out there, I mean, does this mean Republicans are going to take their mask off finally? Yeah, outside. Now, outside. And yesterday I even talked about the fact that there are people out there, kids out there, playing sports with a mask on. And I've been saying it for a long time here. We need to go to mass shaming. Anybody wearing a mask? Well, I've been doing it for a while. We need to shame everybody who wears a mask, inside and out. But, I get grief from Republicans. They go, oh, no, if they want to. No, it's all bull. It's time to stop it. They do it. Let's play the game. If we're going to play the game, let's do it right. Let's stop playing their game. Oh, but they have a right. I'm going to call it what it is. If you're wearing a mask, I mean, look at the mask shaming. You go to a door, but you're so obedient. You're so compliant. You go to Home Depot, you see the door, and there's a sign on the door. Yeah. Linda said, I went to Lowe's yesterday in the garden department. Everyone wearing a mask. Unbelievable. I mean, it really is unbelievable. Put that mask on. Somebody told you to put a mask on. You do what you were told. Linda, this is why I really try to be positive about what we're trying to accomplish. But we have a bunch of wussies, pussies, whatever you want to call them, on our side. And they all act tough. So many of them act tough. Yeah, I do it because I don't want confrontation. Good God. If I'm a lefty, if I'm a lefty, I am laughing at you like you wouldn't believe. I wonder what else they can put on the door to make you do it. Good morning, Mr. Ronnie. But I'm serious. I wonder what at the door of a store or whatever, that they can put on there that'll make you do it. Because apparently it's easy. And for some reason, it doesn't make a difference. People just are so compliant. And honest to God, until we finally start doing something here, I don't really see anything happening. I don't see anything changing. I wish it would. I really do. I wish it would be to a point where people say, wait a minute. Here's what gets me. Most people on both sides of the aisle say that government lies to us all the time. These lying politicians. And if you don't think Fauci's a politician, he may not be one of... He's the worst kind. He's making demands and he's not even elected. People just... They just listen to this guy and say, yeah, he's we got to believe what he says. It really is very spooky, but that's where we are today. So, welcome to whatever, I don't even know what to call it anymore. Yeah, I was talking about something yesterday. I want to get to this. Do you know how many restaurants have closed due to the restrictions of so many Democrat governors and mayors and county executives? It is unbelievable. So now, since Trump is gone, they're saying, oh yeah, we can open them back up. We can do this. We can do that. But the very people that they have fooled, not fooled, but they have coddled, the waiters and waitresses, they were getting nice fat checks for staying home. And they still are, and they're still trying to continue it. They have been coddled. Say, yeah, you can make $600, $700, $800 a week, and you don't even have to go to work. You can sit your happy ass at home, and you don't have to do a thing. How would that work for us? So now these people who used to work don't even show up, so the restaurants can't even open up. The restaurants can't even open up. Fauci said 62% of the people wearing masks were the reason why. Well, you know what? I think that's what happened this time. How many of you know, seriously, how many of you people know? We've been through this already. How many of you people already know, though, that people wearing a mask are the ones that were more likely to get COVID that, and not only just get COVID, but get COVID that was a lot more serious. How many of you did that? Went to the dentist. They took my temperature and I told them it was stupid. They said it was the rule. You know, whatever I'm told to do. What do you mean the rule? The rule by who? You know, I mean, I know you were thinking the same thing. Whose rule? You got a bunch of unelected idiots, and corporate America is really front and center on this. Don't ever think they're not. Corporate America, and we need to really, the corporate America that tries to dictate to the citizens, we need to destroy them. Coca-Cola needs to have the big hurt put on them, and they are already. I think, didn't they just change CEOs or something like that? I think they did. They changed CEOs because they were having so many issues. Because business was dropping big time. You know, I asked somebody that take those temperatures. I said, "You ever find anybody whose temperature was too high?" And they go, "Not really." You have all these people come in, you take their temperature, and nothing happens. People, I'm telling you, you better wake up. I mean, really, you better wake up. It's not working, and you know, I don't even talk about real Republicans anymore. I mean, I've already had people say don't stop, and I don't want to stop. But man, I'll tell you what, we're going to do a big deal, not in May, but in June. And we may not have anything going on in May except for a couple meetings, and that's, you know, smaller meetings. We probably need the way we do it anyway. You know, because a lot of the people, when they do show up, they just want to be entertained. Entertained. Entertain me, and if I don't like it, I'll complain. That's exactly what it's become. And there's some of us, I can name some right now, that really doesn't give a damn what anyone else thinks. Honestly, I don't care. The hair salon, I take temps, they laugh, and they don't know how to do it. You know, the place I go to in St. Louis County, where I walk in without a mask, where you're supposed to walk in with a mask until you sit down. But we go there, because I've been going there for years. Okay, for those of you who don't know, in St. Louis County, this dictator, Sam Page, a couple months ago said, okay, we will allow 50% occupancy. You know, so if your occupancy says, 150 people, you can have 75. And when you walk on the door with your mask on, which we don't wear, there's a clipboard there, and you're supposed to give them your name and phone number. Yeah. You're supposed to give it to the government to let them know that you were there. Now, I notice at least most of the people aren't doing that. Good morning, Miss Sherry. I mean, honestly, is there anybody watching right now that when you walk into one of these restaurants that have that you give it? I know some people. I mean, that's the only one I really go in. I'm trying to think if I've been in the other one. But that's the only one I go in, and I sure as hell aren't going to do it, or if nothing else. My name is Sam Page, and I'll give them the county number. But people just continue to do it. And you're right, you can't give an inch. That's what they want. They see people there who will give in and give in and give in. That's what they do. You know, it's every once in a while I talk about the former friends we had. And I don't mention their names. But One of them was a smoker. And he's all concerned that somebody's going to give him COVID. He ends up in a hospital for whatever. I don't even know if it was COVID. I don't think it was. I don't know. I don't really care. Whatever happens, happens. Another one had other issues. And Wendy and I are running around without a mask on. How does that work? How in the world am I still alive? That's what, here's the problem we have in our country right now. You can't even ask people a common sense question. I've been saying this for years. When you go to school now and they ask you a question, a multiple choice question, and none of the questions are correct, or none of the answers are correct, or I'm sorry, a question and there's multiple answers to it, and you're supposed to pick out the right one. Sometimes none of the answers are right. They want their answers, and I refuse to give it to them. Why are people so compliant? It's like, that's why I started out, because I've been a good citizen. I've been compliant for the things that are necessary. But if I don't deem them necessary, and it's none of the business, if it's none of their business, the government's business, I'm not telling them it's none of their business. You're Donald Duck. Panera's tries to take your name. It's none of their business. That's why I laugh at them. It's like, are you this obedient? Now to be fair to some of Panera's is big enough they shouldn't have to worry about it. But some of these individual owners, they got to be careful because that's their only livelihood. And they have a tough enough time as it is. And honestly, I am one of those people, I know Linda is too, where I go to places that stand up for themselves and I determine each situation. But as far as a chain restaurant, I don't go to chain restaurants who are joining in. We don't buy Coca-Cola products. There's a lot of things we don't do because we're not going to get involved in their stupidity. Well, they can look like asses and do it quite well, can't they? And then we got Queenie here, who owns a business, and when you walk in her business, it says "Fight Socialism," and they got people complaining about that. The cancel culture. Well, you need to fix that. Can you imagine 40 years ago? If you had that, people be giving you the high five. I commend her for it. And she's taking grief. The city inspectors come in there. Unbelievable. I just wonder, how much grief do you get for that from customers? You know what gets me? You know what you need to put next to that, Queenie? You know what you need to take a picture of Venezuela or Nazi Germany and put those right next to it and say, or around it or something like that, say, this is what socialism is all about. That's a great, I have to get some ass to do that. Well, you know what? Veteran says, time to start having mass burning ceremonies in our community. That's a great idea. In fact, hey, there you go, Linda. We found an activity to do when we have our rally, when we have our big barbecue or whatever. Well, first thing, we'll have a big mass burning ceremony. That'll piss off the media. Need to have people walk in, and so the first thing I started to say, I don't have any mask I can throw in there, but you know what? All I have to do is look on the ground where masks are so horrible that people take them off and throw them on the ground. Ian threw a county inspector out of his shop. Oh, yeah. Veteran, you fought for our country. He says, I've been enjoying my life everywhere without a vaccine, mask, distancing, and all other. We haven't done the exact same. We have not have anything. Carl, if you want a mask, all you have to do is look on the ground. I mean, should they have biohazard trash cans by there that you can put your highly infected COVID mask? You know, I haven't believed for one day, 1 minute, that masks do anything. And we have been chastised, mask shamed, by fellow so-called Republicans. I call them drive-by Republicans. And you are right. Biden's administration controlled by China. And apparently, Americans want to be controlled by China. I mean, really, you know, have you noticed that there are no reports of life in China? I would like to see the people that live in China that make next to nothing and work 12 hours a day in slave shops. I'd like to see that and say, hey, this is what you get to do. But then again, right now, what are they doing? They're spoiling, they're killing our kids. They're spoiling our kids. See, here's the problem, veteran. You and I both know that. He says more people that refuse to follow the Gestapo, the more they will fail. But we're the exception. We're not the rule. I walk into a store and they say, hey, here, would you like a mask? And we just go by and say, no, thank you. Well, you really need to wear one. Whatever. And people think we're rude for doing that. If you don't want to sit in there, just say, yeah, I give Costco credit for one thing. They said, you are not allowed to enter with a mask, and we said, fine, we're gone. We haven't shopped there since. And we like Costco. Better than Sam's. But we're members of Sam's. Honestly, I want everybody to think about, for you lefties out there who really think this is all, that I'm defiant. Last week they had 16 world leaders on a conference call. One of them had a mask on. This is electronic. Don't you look at that and you go, why is the president wearing a mask? Why? You're right. Driving is 10 times more dangerous than the flu. And actually, it was, I think when he said this, he goes, it's just in the version of the flu. I mean, really, I want common sense. I mean, really, common sense. I know it doesn't belong with the American people anymore because they don't. Most of them don't have any. You have the packaging on the masks that say they don't do anything, and people still wear them because government said so. And then the same government turns around and says, guess what? Flu is gone. But COVID's terrible. You got the same people that believe that when somebody gets in a motorcycle accident, that they died of COVID. I mean, the amount of absolute stupidity that comes out of this just is amazing to me. How in the world honestly, anybody with at least half a brain, which would disqualify many, they go ahead and they believe whatever they're told. By lying politicians. Linda, you've been listening for a while. How many times have I said that the American people, and this is both parties, they actually believe a politician gets up there, and especially ones that are known to lie, which is most damn near all of them, They get up there and they tell you something, and it fits an agenda, like mask wearing and the rest of it. And their brain leaves them, and they just go and do what they're told. Why? Maximum conversion. So, all right, I got a question to ask you. What would you tell your men if your superior came up to you and said, I am demanding that everybody get this vaccine? Now, I realize there were certain vaccines. Now, here's the difference, though, so everybody understands. I'm not against vaccines, so to speak. I'm not a big fan of them, but I'm not against them. But I am highly against them when they're not really even, they haven't gone through the process of testing. And they really haven't. They haven't tested on animals. We are the guinea pigs. You have the media that absolutely shuts up about the people that are dying. Perfectly good, healthy people dying of a vaccine, of a COVID vaccine. You want to talk about stupid people? It's so easy to do. People stop. The people that used to drink Corona stopped drinking Corona. Because remember, it started out as the coronavirus. And there were people that said, well, I'm not going to drink that. I'll get the virus. This is the amount of stupidity out there. I'll get the virus if I drink Corona. I'm dead serious. They're out there. They're among us. And a lot of them are voters. Yeah, they're all lockstep. You're right. The U.S. Army leadership is persuading soldiers to put blind faith in the drug using miraculous claims even the manufacturers do not make. That's what scares me about the military right now. It really does. Because I can tell you right now, a lot of these police officers who are doing exactly what they're commanded to do, a lot of these police officers are the ones that I'm concerned about being the next Nazis, Gestapo. They really are. In the military, they're taught, not everybody. The older days a little bit different, but they're taught to do whatever they're told no matter what. I understand following orders. But you know what I always say, Ronnie, is that you swear to the Constitution of the United States before you get to the point about following orders. My response would be something like this: sir, with all due respect, eat shit. I am not, hey, Ronnie, I am not a guinea pig. You know, hey, that would be a great t-shirt. You get your vaccination, I won't. I am not a guinea pig. How about that? Because I'm not a guinea pig. I'm not about to put something in my body that is a drug that I'm not too damn that really hasn't been tested. I want to know if other people have done it. Look, I'm not afraid of things, but I'm not stupid either. Well, some people would think that. They're not the only ones, though. He says the Army leadership is obediently following the CDC guidance like victims of a cult mentality without scrutinizing industry motives. Follow orders. Follow orders. That to me is the scariest part. And I want everybody to understand, you know, the people who I'm a military fan. I believe, you know, the military can be great and all that stuff, but they can also do a lot of other things. They become social experiments in many ways. Many ways. And we don't even realize that. I mean, I'm sorry, but Ronnie, how do you feel about women on the battlefield? I'm serious. How do you feel about that? You know, there's just so much. And by the way, did you see about the CEO of I forgot what the company was at something at a prom, just happened to show up somewhere at the hotel where the prom was or something like that. And he started chastising. There were two gay guys. One of them was wearing as feminine female dress as you can get, with hair, a little hair coming out of his chest and all that stuff. And it wasn't a joke, because they're both gay. And the guy says, "You're a man." He has no First Amendment rights. Oh, yeah, he does. He got fired. But the cancel culture was there. I can't believe he did that. I'm glad we weren't there, Linda. He got fired for speaking his mind. I don't know if I would have said something, but I would have said, "Oh, good God." There's times I'll say things, times I won't. I usually say things if you know me well enough to know, but that's the problem we got. But people won't even fight back, and so what do we get? We get Republicans falling in place. Well, he really shouldn't have said something. Republicans, so-called Republicans, drive-by Republicans, have joined the fight with the left. This is our problem. Put a mask on? Yes, sir, I'll do it. Don't say anything? Yes, sir, I'll do it. Republicans have become so compliant that they won't even stand up for common sense in themselves. Did I say that right? I mean, that's why, a lot of it's just look at the other people out there and go, we have the biggest bunch of wusses out there. We have chairs of the Republican Central Committees giving money to the liberal candidates who are ruining our children. And they can't figure out why we're having problems. They're teaching things in schools that they'll say, "Oh, I didn't know that." People spend more time shopping for a television than they do for a leader, for a county executive, for whatever it is. They know nothing about the very people that they are electing. Nothing. Except for what they're being told. I mean, honestly, I'll go back to Mayor Elizabeth Coleman, who wants to put Trump's name on a highway. I've already talked to people and said, "Yeah, I really like the idea of what she's doing." I said, "You think she's good, huh?" "Oh, yeah, she's got to be." It's easy. We had a situation in Missouri. I've talked about it many times where we have somebody out there that he ran for governor. He won. And the establishment Republicans didn't like that he won. So they worked with the Soros-minded Democrats, I should say, but the Democrat district attorney, and basically got him out of office. They worked with the enemy. And so now, and I'm going to say this, when I said this to a friend of mine who used to be a state rep, and I'll leave it there, I said something about Eric Schmidt. Eric Schmidt is a paid whore Republican. That's what he is. And I see drive-by Republicans, and I'm telling you what, it's amazing to me. I see drive-by Republicans that say, "Oh, I will support Eric Schmidt. He believes in term limits. All you have to do is feed the idiots something, and they go, oh my God, he's wonderful. But what else are we supposed to go by? How about their record? I'm serious. Oh, why would we do that? In the last election, we had a woman who couldn't even take her own personal finances, owed all kinds of money, and there were other talk show hosts supporting her. There were citizens supporting her. And there were people that I'm shaking my head go, why would you support somebody that has no real good history? I don't get it. Why aren't the American people allowed to get a second doctor's opinion on COVID? Because, and this is where thinking people like us get it. There's these positions called hospital administrators. They're there. Their job is to get as much money in that hospital as possible. They instruct their doctors. They do this. Oh, they wouldn't do it. Yes, they do. They instruct their doctors the best they can that they need to make sure that they get as many people in those hospital beds. And this is what's amazing to me. We have these people. Yeah. Well, yeah, but we're going to save people. But we have these same people who the doctors, the hospitals, the rest of it, and they'll say they will come out and say we have hit full capacity. And people go, wow, COVID's really bad. But when someone like me tells the people, it's like, wait a minute. Full capacity doesn't mean you got a 50,000 seat stadium and 50,000 is full capacity. What full capacity means in hospitals is what they can handle with the staff they have. They can have 1,000 beds, but if they only have 100 beds manned by nurses and all that, and the staff they need, that's called full capacity. And if you tell people that, they go, oh, no, that's what it is. We have changed the definition of so many things. I guess they'll do that in sports now. So since sports can only have, say, 20% capacity, I guess I'll go ahead and say it was a full stadium, full capacity stadium, because they're going to change that. I received an email last night wanting to know if I could support Mark McCloskey, the lawyer who stood up for BLM. Number one, I'm going to tell you right now, we don't know anything about him. The guy stands up against the protesters, and the American people say, you're hired. Number one, he's a lawyer. And I'm not saying anything bad about the guy. He may be fine. I don't know. Really? Come on, people. This is what we've done. Look, I love Candace Owens. She speaks and everything. But we want to nominate these people for things because of what they say. And I'm not saying she does live life we don't know. I want to know more. Yes, he's a rich lawyer. I have to know more. Not the fact he stood up against a bunch of protesters. Let's elect him. I'll go back to the last election. We had a doctor who had a proven record. A proven record. And the establishment said, we don't want him. And I got to tell you, in the last election, I was just dumbfounded by idiot voters. 70, according to what they said, 70% of the people wanted the person who sat on his hands while all this stuff was going on in St. Louis and did nothing. He's the one that stood by and said, we're going to close the state due to COVID. All the things against our Constitution. And here's what gets me. The very Republicans that like Kristi Noem, who said, we're not closing our state down, are the same ones that are supporting Parson, who shut the state down. Don't tell me Republicans are the smartest people on the planet. I'm serious. We have so many drive-by Republicans that do not deserve our support. And like I said, veteran, I'm with you. I don't know much about him. He's a rich lawyer. That's all I know. But when the voters are so stupid, really, I'm sorry, I'm going to call you stupid. If you've already said, I'm going to support him because of this, that's not why you support somebody. I want to support somebody who can prove to me what they've done. You know, and I want to, look, when Greitens was running for office, I supported somebody else. But he went into office, he did his job. He has my support because he was, from the people I know who were there, said he did a great job when he was there. But now, we're supposed to ignore that. We're supposed, he was a Navy SEAL. Oh, they make fun of that. I wonder how many people out there who made fun of him could even come close to being a Navy SEAL. For me, that's something special. All right, Queenie owns what's the name of your place? It's on Cherokee, 2124 Cherokee. It's east of Grand on the, it's east of Grand, 2124. And she said May 1st is Loyalty Day and the kickoff of Military Appreciation Month. Please join the celebration of my shop. I promise you, Queenie, I will stop by. And by the way, she doesn't do that to get, she's a patriot, a real patriot. She's brave enough to put things on her outside her business that in her neighborhood. I mean, look, you know why it's really bad? Here, you have people that say, we don't like that sign, that don't even know what socialism really is. They think some of the countries that they point out are socialists, and they're not. A socialist country is Venezuela. And honestly, we are not a socialist country. Well, we're getting there. So why aren't more people involved in the fact that we got to say, hey, wait a minute. We want to have our socialist country, and we'll go somewhere else. You know, I'll tell you what, Venezuela would love to have you. Bring your money because they'll take it. Yeah. Have you ever noticed? Here's my favorite ones. The rich, the super rich that have no clue how they woke up that morning. I mean, LeBron James is a very talented basketball player. Done. Doesn't mean he's got a brain. Just means he's 7 foot tall and he can stuff a basketball. That's all it is. He's qualified to be a head idiot right now. China's showing us as socialists. Yeah, if you're one of the special ones. Ask those people making next to nothing, Jim. But I understand why you say that. Well, no. Someone said no one can promise a liar. Let me tell you something. There's no doubt in my mind, just by what Veteran said, there's no doubt in my mind that people are more willing to believe anything they're told. And I've told people this for years. This is why I can't stand it. I really have a very short fuse when it comes to this, and I really have issues with people that believe anything they're told. I mean, all right, let's these same Republicans, I can't call them conservatives. These same Republicans laugh at the left when say somebody goes up and talks to them and they ask them questions they don't know. They go, and then they turn around and they support Mark Mikulowski. Like I said, I don't know anything about him. I really don't. Except he stood up. That doesn't make him qualified. But the first question I would ask them is, besides standing up to the protesters, what else has he done? You know what? You will get silence. I will guarantee you 99% of the people out there have no clue. You're willing to go ahead and check the voters box for him. You have no clue. Eric Schmidt, what has he done? He said he wants term limits. They go by what they say. They don't even look at their history. And I try to put those on a level that even idiots can understand. But the next time your refrigerator goes out, I was in the business for years. I want you to call somebody up. It's a little different. But call a buddy up. Hey, you know anything about refrigerators? Oh, yeah. Will you come here and fix mine? You're a nice guy. You told me once that you fixed your refrigerator. They don't have to be qualified. They just go ahead and do it. A group called Missouri Patriots floated the idea about McCloskey to the person that contacted me. How can you be a patriot unless you really know who these people are? And all they're going to do, they're not going to tell you what they've done. They really aren't. They're going to tell you what they promise. People, I've told people this for years, that voters only want to vote for somebody that tells them stuff they want to hear. It doesn't even matter if it's the truth. Oh, they'll tell you it does. No, it doesn't. Have you checked it out, see it's the truth? Of course not. Why would I do that? Why would I check something out? That makes no sense. Now, I look at some of these headlines, and they're made to order. They're made to order. Now the House Republicans, all of them, and many of them are absolutely Benedict Arnolds. They're going to take your mind off of what happened in 2020. They may have not supported Trump, or even, most of them didn't, by the way. Some of them came out and wanted to impeach him, and believe me, there was more. They just didn't say it. But now, House Republicans, to ensure every voter knows Democrats want to defund the police. What do people do? They get a letter. I read some of the letters. And Nancy Pelosi. And the best thing happened in the Republican Party was AOC. Oh, yeah, she's a ditz. And they use her to get money. That's what they do. They don't talk about what they do. They talk about what the other side does. That's how the game is played. And until people understand it, we're going to continue to elect idiots. That's just what's going to happen. If you're one of those people that are so easily maneuvered, I don't want you at the polls. I'm reading what you just gave me. And it's really sad because people we don't know what he's going to do on a level. Why all of a sudden, when you went out there with a gun to protect your property, why all of a sudden do you become qualified to be the next senator? I mean, really, I want somebody under. Why? So let's go back to the refrigerator thing. You looked on the internet, and it was an easy fix for your refrigerator. I know it sounds very minor, but you know what? Let's put it where people can understand it. So here you are. You got an easy fix for your refrigerator. Oh, all I need was a defrost timer. That's it. I put it in. It works great. Now I'm an appliance technician. That's really what we're saying here. He did what most people would have, a lot of people would have done. I shouldn't say most, because most are wusses. He got out there and defended his property. I know a lot of people do that. They defend their property. And all of a sudden he's qualified to be your next senator? I mean, really? How many people could ask him in questions? Like, Mark, I just got, simple question. I would ask it. Simple question. I commend you for going out to protect your property, which many people would have done. What makes you qualified to be a senator? And you know what? He probably doesn't know. What does he know about the legislative process? What does he know about any of that stuff? All we know is that he'll stand up and defend his property. If there is a position for that, maybe we'll put him up there. But there's so much more. Don't we want people with proven records? I do. I want to be able to look back and say, wait a minute, this person did this. This person did, that's what I want to see. I just don't want to totally ignore what they've done in their life. I mean, it's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. And no offense, I am not the biggest, no offense to you good lawyers. But you know what? Good lawyers will even say, most lawyers suck. Most of them are liberals. I'm not saying he is. We didn't even know what he was. You notice that? For a while, we didn't even know if he's a Republican. I don't even know if we still know. It doesn't matter because he got out there, and because Republicans, drive-by Republicans, are so easily manipulated. Look, if you're one of them, I'm not trying to be rude here. But you really have to stop and think about it. These are people that are making decisions on your lives. He may say, you know what? I really believe that we need to be taxed more. We don't know that. We don't know any of that stuff. We know nothing about that. He may believe in things that you would go, wow. He may believe in the vaccine. He may believe in masks. We don't know those things. And now people are asking him to do that? Well, that sounds great. Jim says, we need people to go to Congress that don't understand the system, elect enough of them, and they might undermine the system. I don't know. I understand why you say it. I don't necessarily agree with you, and let me tell you why. Because if you elect people that go in there and they're not you. First of all, you're not going to get enough people, so they're going to be manipulated left and right, and how it works anyway is as soon as you're elected. Are there any elected representatives here? As soon as you're elected, the first thing they do, both parties, they bring in your office, they go, hey, let's use a phony name. Tom Smith. Tom, congratulations on winning your election. It was great to watch you. Look, I think you'll be a great asset here, and we want you to be successful. Now, we have an agenda here, and you may not agree with it, but just please bear with us, and it's only to help you. And remember when you went out there and worked so hard? Remember that? You went out there and worked so hard to get all these people to vote for you and give you money? You don't have to worry about that much anymore. Because we will make sure that you are funded. You'll never have to work as hard again to be reelected. You'll have to go out there and, kiss up to the voters and tell them things, but, they don't tell them that right away, by the way. but we will make sure you're reelected because we have money coming out of our ears by people who they don't tell them they want legislation, but sometimes what happens is you vote for legislation and they give you money. You don't even have to vote their way, but they'll give you money. Now, as time goes on, that all changes. They manipulate these people, and you're walking into a situation with these people that are really good at what they do, and we keep thinking, look at the idiots up there that do it. I mean, think about all the idiots that we have in office right now. Well, the only problem with that is we want to get good people in there. I want to know who they are. I mean, really, how about we just go ahead and we get rid of the ones that we know are bad. No one knows the system like an incumbent. Well, Jim, I'm gonna tell you right now. I know of a lot of people who were termed out that were really good at what they did. They knew what to look out for and what not to look out for. How about we just go by integrity? Wouldn't it be Wouldn't it be a terrible thing to do? Vote for people for integrity purposes? We know they have integrity, so we want them to be there. I mean, I like that idea. I mean, how many people out there seriously only want somebody because they don't know anything? That's not me. I want people that know. I want people that know what the hell they're doing and where they're going, and I want to see the record. I mean, look, I don't like hiring anybody for anything, and I don't necessarily follow what you're saying. I understand why you say it, but I don't follow it because of the fact that I believe totally that I want people in there that know what the hell they're doing, that they can manipulate, do what they need to do. Hello there, Charlie. It happens everywhere. In Perry County, the people fell for a person that is now on the hospital board just because he can talk like a Philadelphia lawyer. Use cars. Exactly. See, I got to tell you something. There's a few people that I was telling someone very close to me. I'll put it that way. And some of the brighter people I know, when I say brighter, I mean the more experienced people who could see through this garbage, that have really worked hard at it. Most of them listen to this show, by the way. But they can see right through the garbage. But this is a problem we have too. How many people in our legislature, a Missouri legislature, let's do that, are in their 30s or 40s. And we think they're brilliant. And they could be. But there's no replacing experience. I got a question to ask you people who are my age or older. How much smarter after your experience, how much smarter are you about politics today than you were, say, 20 or 30 years ago when you thought you knew something? Oh, I thought about, I got to be honest with you, veteran. I haven't watched anything Biden's done. I can't. I really have problems doing that. But I want everybody to understand how many times. I mean, everybody. You older guys here. How many people out there? I'm dead serious. How many people out there though? Charlie, you're one I want to talk. I know you, veteran. Well, if you knew back then what you knew today, you probably made a lot of better decisions, wouldn't you? But one of the things that we have a problem with, and I mean this sincerely, I grew up in the hood, and I looked up to older people. For some reason, I just knew this is the way to go. I didn't listen to everything they said, and I didn't always take their advice. But there are certain people I looked up to, and I really call them wise. My favorite was Dad Stuckey. He was my mentor dad. And I always considered him one of the smartest people on the planet. Because when he was older, he would tell me things that would happen because he'd been there. He used to be a motorcycle cop in the city. He was a military motorcycle cop, ATF agent, all that stuff. One of the smartest people I know. I asked him a question one time. I said, Dad, how come you don't run for office? He said, son, I've thought about it. He said, but I can't sell myself. I can't make a deal with the devil. He goes, there are people out there that can, and I'm the same way. I can't do it. That's why I don't do it. But there are many people that do a much better job of it. I'll help them get there. I will help them sell the message. But the problem is there's not a lot of people like me that will help sell the message. Experiences taught me that I didn't know. You're right. I've made a lot of... do you know how many people out there, Charlie and you guys, that have turned around and said, in office, they said, I came here, I was 34, and I was so easily maneuvered and never thought I was. And these guys are great at what they do. One of the reasons Jim Neely wanted me to go to Jefferson City with him because he knew that I had the experience and the knowledge that I knew who to trust and not to trust. And Charlie, you others out there, you can spot a political whore a lot faster than ever now, can't you? I'll bet you 10 to 1 you can. And for those of you that are learning about this, I'm dead serious about this. Look at how many people on the left that are not happy with Biden right now. There's a lot of them that voted let's put it this way. I never said anybody voted for Biden. What I do say are how many people that vote against Trump. No, Jim, you're misunderstanding what I'm saying here. I'm not saying because they're older. Because I can see Biden from a mile away. Biden is out there fooling the younger people. Oh, yes. By the way, yesterday, Wendy and we just hadn't been in the living room, and Dr. Phil came on, and we watched a little bit of it. And there was, and I'll get to yours, Jim, and there was an episode there of a woman who they think was going psychotic. And when she talked, she didn't sound like it, but when you looked at her reaction, she was. But she just knew that anyone that voted for Biden, that voted for Trump or supported Trump, was being brainwashed. Even her own daughter, and I think her husband too, it was hard to tell if he was the same place, and she was doing all kinds of crap because she knew that you and I, we Trump supporters, were brainwashed. It was really very spooky looking at this, like, wow. And her daughter was like, and really to Dr. Phil's credit, he didn't talk about the politics. He's like, he went to the point, why are you doing this behavior? And I looked at her and I was like, yeah, that's a Biden supporter right there. But she wasn't a Biden supporter. She was an anti-Trump person. Now, I want to get back to yours. Biden is as experienced and knowledgeable of Congress as anyone. He's supposed to... No, that's not what I said. I said most of us, many of us, I didn't say most of us, I said many of us, as we're older, we see this so much clearer. Not everybody. Look, some people are idiots the rest of their life. Okay, by what you're saying, Jim, then I should be believing that Joe Biden was great for America? Hell no. I saw what his agenda was. I saw what he's done. I could look at his, I know this has really killed people. I looked at his real history, and guess what? I knew he was nuts. but I also knew who was sending him there. So, all right, I got to take a break. I got to take my break. So just hang on. We're going to do a little bit of my theme song today. No Lee Greenwood today. We're going to do my theme song. So I'll be back in a few. You're listening to the Super Daves. Be right back.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Don't label us left or right. American. Not looking for a war, but we came to fight. American. Somebody's gotta stand up. Stand up. Somebody's gotta do what's right. We're rising 'cause we're fed up. Got our house in order and got yours inside. American, that's what I am, that's what I say, and what I do. I am American, that's what I am, and I bleed red, white, and blue. And I bleed red, white, and blue. It's not about it's about what's right. American. Taking back our country, come and join the fight. American. Somebody's gotta stand up. Somebody's gotta do what's right. We're rising 'cause we're fed up. Got our house in order and got yours inside. I am American. That's what I am, that's what I say, and what I do. I am American. That's what I am, and I bleed red, white, and blue. And I bleed red, white, and blue. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I am American. That's what I am. It's what I say and what I do. I am American. That's what I am, and I bleed red, white, and blue. And I bleed red, white, and blue. And I bleed red, white, and blue.
Alrighty, there you go. Alrighty, there you go. Got to turn the microphone when I do that. I believe red, white, and blue. I guarantee you that. You know, I think it's hitting home with some of these people, though. And veteran, you are right. The worst amendment in the Constitution was the 17th Amendment. When's the last time you heard anybody running for Senate saying, I think the 17th Amendment should be repealed? I'll go a step farther. How many times do you hear any politician say that? Dead serious. When? I don't know of any. I really don't. 17th Amendment. When they passed that, what they did was they took away our state rights, our states' rights. That's what they did. They took it away. People going, what do you mean? Because, I don't even think people realize this, and I hope people are listening. The whole purpose of the House of Representatives is so every 2 years you can vote for, you can push your own people for what you want. If you didn't like them, you can have term limits every 2 years. They didn't say, well, the people are too stupid. They've said, you know what, you can get rid of them. Now we're asking government to do it. But they were there to represent the people as a people. So, if the congressperson in your state, in your district, they represent those people. That's who they represent. Now, the senators were different. The senators were at one time appointed by the legislature. Now, think about this. You elect your state legislatures. And your legislatures elect, that's what the republic's all about. Not anymore. Now we have, I call them super congressmen. We should not be voting, and people don't like this. We should not be voting on our senators. They should be appointed by the states. Therefore, the states are represented. 17th Amendment, who agrees with me? The 17th Amendment is the worst amendment ever in the Constitution. And it needs to be repealed. By the way, I tracked Roy Blunt down one day. And I asked him about that. Exactly. I asked him about that. He says, oh, no, it's fine the way it is. All it does is give 100 people superpowers. If you think your state legislatures got you're not state. If you think your U.S. legislators have power, it doesn't. It pales in comparison of the powers of the senators, U.S. senators. The whole idea was the state legislatures appoint them, and we don't even do that anymore. They're kept in check by the states. The states really have no rights. We have given those rights away. Why would we do that? Why aren't the people who really give a damn about what our country runs, why aren't they running out there and say we need to repeal the 17th Amendment? I really don't understand. Wendy was telling me there's certain people watching the show right now, and they're probably loving the show right now, especially because the fact that they were military people, did a great job, and I'll bet you 10-1, the really good military people are sick of the people in charge today. They are. Well, you're right about 16th Amendment. You know, remember back when Trump came into office? We had Republicans, and I got in a fight because we're talking about tariffs. Well, tariffs are taxes. Do you understand at one time that the taxes we got were not from individuals? They were from tariffs. People don't even know that. And so, I'm like, wait a minute. We don't need to be sending our jobs over to China. Yeah, but and they would say, well, we shouldn't charge tariffs. It was okay when we first started for a long time. Then all of a sudden the 16th Amendment came in, and they said, now we can charge individuals. I mean, it always starts out little bitty. Notice that? Little bitty. Wasn't Social Security? They had to change wording, just like Roberts did with Obamacare. It was 1%. 1%. And that 1% had a limit. Now it's, if you get down to it, it's 14%. Think about it. It's over 14%. It went from 1% to 14%. How's that working out for us? 16th Amendment. Plus all the other taxes involved. But that's what... So the very conservatives, drive-by Republicans, I can't call them conservatives. They are arguing with me about tariffs. Because Trump said, well, you know what? If they're going to do this, we're going to do that. And I never understood arguing with some of these people. Why in the world should our manufacturers in the United States have to pay high tariffs when they sell something in China? But when China sells something to us, we want the lowest tariffs possible because we end up paying it. And I would bring up the fact that, wait a minute, now think about this. We have a corner with 2 stores. One of them is supported by the government, and the other one isn't. Which one are you going to go to? Americans are going to go one where it's cheapest, not realizing what it costs in the long run. They're just not going to. The store that's being supported by the government, which, by the way, is your money, and they're going to get their cut, and the guy who's fending for himself is going to get screwed. It happens all the time. Yeah, the federal government used to get taxes from states using apportionment, as should be. Instead, states beg money. You know, here's where we are today. This is how ridiculous it is. We have mayors and governors, we have leaders out there allowing criminals to destroy sections of their cities. Mayhem. Who cares about the people that are there trying to make a living, and Antifa comes in there and takes over and destroys it? Who cares, right? And Trump said, hey, if you're going to tear it up, it's your problem. But as soon as they fraudulently elect somebody else, he says, hey, we'll send you all the money you need to rebuild your cities. Thank you very much for helping us with the fraudulent election. That's pretty much what happened. A lot of people don't like to hear this stuff because they go, well, I want to talk about all the stuff, that's on Facebook, and I say, and I tell them, please go back to Facebook and play your Facebook game. Go back and forth saying, wow, this really makes me mad. It makes me so mad that I'm going to go find another one that's going to make me madder. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to be mad. That's what we do. We get mad. When we talk about Republicans being so smart and so common sense, I get in trouble when I say, I don't think so. Are there some of us? Absolutely. But I believe in my heart that most Republicans are drive-by Republicans. They won't do what it takes for our country to succeed. They are compliant beyond belief. I can understand some people wearing masks. I mean, if you're older and you're really concerned, that's one thing. But when you force a 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 7-year-old going to school, and it's already been proven they don't carry it, they don't do anything with it, and you're still forcing it on that child, Houston, we have a problem. Whatever happened to the day before COVID, when if I'm sick and I've got a relative that's older who's more prone to get something, that I just say, you know what, you don't want me around you right now. I have the flu. You go on your own. You're by yourself. You didn't tell healthy people to stay inside. You didn't do that. And these days, it's easier than ever. You can order your food and have it delivered to your house if you don't want to go. I know people have done it. Now, some people do it because they really have some serious issues and they're nervous about getting it because of what they've been told. I know some people that are completely wacko, and that's what they do. It's amazing to me. It really is. But we just continue. So let's all get mad. For you phony Republicans, now let's all get mad and let's go find the hottest headlines that's going to make us really mad. What we're going to do, nothing more. And I know people get upset when I say this, but I really mean this. We have to really get with it and start doing what we need to do. By the way, in Maricopa County, they're still counting ballots. I am very nervous about what's going to happen when they finally figure this all out. If they get that far, I have a strong feeling something else is going to happen. That all of a sudden, some judge will rule by judges. This is where Trump was brilliant, and the other ones weren't. I think they appointed more judges than any administration in history. But in the last few decades, due to sellouts like George Bush and, of course, Clinton and, of course, the socialist Barack Obama, they've got so many liberal judges, and the liberal judges kind of run the show, don't they? They often joke that we'll be too slow to react. Well, we are. We are. Look, right now, we have a country where people are running around with masks, and 95% of them shouldn't even be wearing them. They're perfectly healthy. There's nothing wrong with them. They're supporting terrorist organizations. You have the left. You have Democrats. You have Biden. Where is it? Now we already know the media is corporate, and I keep telling people, corporate America is in on the fix. Look, I told you, I listen, these things just click in my head. I told you one of my shows I used to watch all the time, I don't watch that much anymore, was Shark Tank. Because I like the fact that people got up and they said, hey, I have this great idea and I want to sell it to these entrepreneurs. I thought it was great. But what I kept hearing from these globalists that were sitting there, not all of them, is I remember there was a gentleman one time and he had an invention, whatever it was, and he wanted to market it. And half the people on the panel said, you charge too much for it. We could take this to China and we can bring it back and sell it and make more money for ourselves. So the rich liberals that are on there, like Mark Cuban, said, let's give the jobs to the Chinese. Screw the Americans. Who cares? And to their credit, some of these people would look at them and say, right now, my city is struggling. We have high unemployment, and I want to make sure they're employed. And these guys, and these globalists like Mark Cuban, and get on there and say, but you don't understand. You could become a millionaire like us. Like us. You could be the upper echelon like us. The hell with those people. And then you would have the patriotic Americans who cared about their neighbors that say, no, this is what I'm doing. And they would turn them down. Say, no, we're not going to do this because you are more concerned about your fellow Americans than you are about anything else. Veteran, I ask that question every day. I'm a straight American, Christian, conservative, unvaccinated, unmasked, biological white male. You forgot. Oh, you said white. Okay, white male. How am I still alive? Yes. How are you still alive? Because you have just shown me You're white privilege. You white privilege jerk, you. I'm dead serious. I was listening to this Dr. Kelly Ward. I don't know if she's really a doctor. I don't know. I haven't checked her up. But Dr. Kelly Ward is in charge of the Republican Party in Arizona. And the Democrats are doing everything they can to stop the process. They are. Everything. They're trying to verify the votes, and the Democrats are doing everything they can. This is what I always want to know, and people better understand. This is why you got to stay behind them. Who are the Democrats threatening? Did they threaten the previous judge? I believe they did. Why would he recuse himself? We just had a trial of a police officer where the jury was not sequestered. The people knew who the jury was. And the jury also knew that their lives were threatened if they didn't come out with the right response. And people would say, well, they should have stood up. I want to see it on this side of the aisle. You're not even standing up as it is. We have all these things when you have done. You're sitting on the sidelines. You're not showing up. Some of you better start listening. Oh, we'll show up when it's too late. Hey, Linda, I just found the quote of Republicans. The definition of drive-by Republicans. You ready for this? I'm a drive-by Republican. I'll show up when it's too late. That sound about right? While some of us are fighting our asses off, trying to do everything we can to make sure that we succeed, 95% are drive-by Republicans saying, I'll be concerned when it's too late. I'll do something when it's too late. Yeah. Why are we so mad? China Joe is giving us permission to meet in small groups if we get the shot. Hey, Queenie, just so you know, most people don't have a clue about any of the amendments. I talked to a guy who thinks he's the smartest guy on the planet. And he didn't realize the Bill of Rights was the first 10 amendments to the Constitution. What do you mean? Don't use the word me, or are you just saying in general? Look, I'll be honest with you. I just looked on Real Republicans. I lose it. I get so pissed off. I do. I get so mad. People just want to give a lip service. I'm a member. It's free. I'm a conservative. It's free. I'll be concerned when it's too late. It all depends how you mean that, though. Let me tell you why. Because when you play the game, it is a game. Make no mistake about it. I have a friend of mine who says, it shouldn't be a game. I don't care. It is a game. And when you play the game, you better sure know how to play the game. Like it or not, you better sure know. Because if you don't know how to play the game, you're going to get your butt kicked. That's why I said it's important that people are experienced. I let somebody have it one day, an elected official. I was very pissed off because he was supporting somebody who is part of the whore establishment. And I let him know. And he told me a few months later, he says, man, you hurt my feelings. I mean, he told me then, it hurt his feelings. He says, you hurt my feelings. He said, the one thing you did, Dave, that really made me think is I had to think. He said, I always thought you were a great guy. Why would you turn on me like that? He said, because you are one of the only ones out there that would tell me the truth. I'm never going to do differently. I'm not. One of the reasons I don't have thousands of, well, I have a lot more listeners than what you see. Believe me, there's a lot more listeners than I know it. A lot of people get on there. You know what? This is where we are. A lot of people get on there and they don't even admit that they're watching because they're afraid somebody's going to come after them. My God, get over it. I'm dead serious. They get over it. Yes, we're really concerned. We've had in the last 2 weeks, I'm letting you know right now, this is why I'm really irritated. In the last 2 weeks, we've had, and I'm telling you what happens, and I know who they are because I get to see it we've had 3 people contribute to Real Republicans. We've had no people put their name out there saying, I'm willing to help. Because, I want to be a driver. Just let me know when they're here and they've taken over our country and when it's too late, just let us know. When they get our guns, just let me know, and then I'll do something. Ladies and gentlemen, it will be too late. If we had to fight a war today with most of the people in our country, we would get our asses kicked. We would. Oh, but we got these people out there doing for us. Yeah. That's on other lands. The whole purpose of military is to defend ourselves from foreign enemies. We have foreign enemies in our country. And we sit there with our hands down our pants and we don't do anything. We don't. It's just awful. It's funny. The term, make America great. And we have schools. We have citizens of this country that think that's un-American. Hey, 8% of the people showed up in the school board election. I'm really mad about those schools. I can't believe they're doing it. They're doing that. You gonna do anything? Oh no. I'm just gonna complain. I'm done. Hey, good luck. If all the kids end up being socialists, which they are. I mean, come on. It's too. You want to talk about too late? You look at the colleges and you see that 90% of the kids coming out of college are full-blown socialists. And you don't think it's too late yet? I want somebody to call in and tell me why it's not too late. I don't know what you're waiting for. Yeah, well, actually, I do. Right now, the biggest problem with Trump, not his fault, the biggest problem with Trump is that people are sitting on the sidelines waiting for him to do something because they won't do anything. Oh, we appreciate our patriots. If you appreciate our patriots, if you appreciate the military that has defended us from foreign enemies, that went over there and fought ISIS and did all these things, why won't you do it here? Veteran, I'm with you. Once an oath is taken, it will never expire. I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I played my theme song at the top, and for those of you who are new here, I play it for a reason. Because I'm looking for people to look at these kids. They're there, and he starts out saying, I am American. And the kids are all sitting there, just like the kids watching this show. And then all of a sudden, they start getting up and saying, yes, I want to do something. I want to do something. While too many of the people watching this show saying, let me know when it's over. We really care about our kids. God, that felt good. Republicans have become the big... Look, I'm sorry. If you're watching right now and you're going, don't be so hard on us, I'm being honest with you. I'm not here to rack up numbers of how many listeners are here. I really don't give a damn. I don't care. I have friends who would tell you right now, they know I don't care. I'm going to tell you the honest God truth. I'm not there to be your hero. I'm there to say we need to get this done. We all need to be heroes. When you're out here, when you are out and you're defending our country, the military that you say you have so much respect for, which I don't really agree that you do. If you did, you'd be doing something here. You ought to be happy. Let me tell you the difference. It's going to rain today, okay? When you're at war in foreign lands, in World War II, in Vietnam, and it rained, you didn't get in your nice house and stay warm out of the rain. You sat in the foxhole with your gun and defended. You did your job. Sound about right, veteran? That's what you did. That's what they did. And we're so thankful. We're so thankful that we sit on our fat asses and don't do anything here in America and allow our country to be stolen from us by the Chinese and stolen from us by the professors that teach our children to be communists. And all I can say to you people is, I'm not the ones that really, I have a few people that watch the show that said, Dave, you hit it almost every single day. I love what you say because you're right. But then I get the naysayers. Why do you have to be so hard? I don't know. Why don't you take your mask off and we'll talk, because right now you're muffled. I hate that. I hate talking to somebody that's got a mask on. You can't hear what they're saying. Okay, I got it. Whatever he said. But I have to ask people, how come you say you support our veterans? I'll tell you what, it's become Feel Good America. And I was talking to a good friend of mine yesterday. He knew who she is. And so many people are so interested in just feeling good that they don't want to do anything and they want somebody else to do everything. I want the military. I mean, volunteer. I got to tell you something. I totally understand the volunteer military, but I'm to a point in my life that I think everybody needs to serve. I think everybody needs to understand what it's like to defend your country, serve your country, that maybe the hell you'll try to do it when you get back here. Right now, all you're doing is you're calling it in. Well, let me see. I put my flag out today. I respect my military. Let me see. I went and voted in the election. I don't know who anybody was. I do. I saw those signs. I saw I saw that was a great TV commercial. You know anything about them? Oh, no. But they have a great the TV commercials were great. I just thought they were awesome. Have you done any research on them? No. Why would I do that? They're going to tell me everything they want me to know. Yeah, right. You think Hitler would have told you what his real plans were? You know, for too many voters, the reason you vote for somebody is if they like Trump or not. It's that easy. Hey, I'm a Trump supporter. He must be a good one. I'm done. Now I can go back to my TV show. Cardinals put BLM on the mound. The Cardinals are backing. The baseball is backing all this garbage. And I know people that tell me how truly patriotic they are. But they excuse all those behaviors. All of a sudden, where is that respect for the military that you keep telling me you have? That's what I don't get. I respect our military as I watch the baseball game and the people that tell the military to stick it, that tells that football where football players kneel and say, kiss my... Yeah, that's where we are. I respect those people, but not during the football game. No. Those players, they're really good players. Oh, my God. Did you see the touchdown he had? It was really great. But they're expressing how they feel. You know what? They can do it off the field. How many people want to see that? Trump is a public relations disaster. The press was able to establish the lie that he is not good for America in enough people's minds that a little voter fraud in key places was enough to end his career. Well, Jim, I'm going to disagree with you, and I'll tell you why. The only reason he was a disaster, not that he was, but the only reason we can say that. Oh, that's a good one. Jim Jones would be proud. That is perfect today. It really is. Is because people expected Trump to do everything. Well, Trump, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Here Trump is in a cesspool of politicians in Washington, D.C. And let me tell you something right now. The percentages are horrible. If there's 2% of the people up there worth a damn, that would be a miracle. But that is right. Jim Jones would be proud. If you're not familiar with Jim Jones, he gave them the Kool-Aid. That's where it came from, isn't it? Drank the Kool-Aid. Jim Jones caused that. You know, I got to tell you, veteran, I've had more military people that watch my show that love it more than anything. And the reason is because they know I'm fighting on a domestic level. They see me out there rallying. They see me doing these things. I'm not up there to say, hey, I'm the star. And I am aiming at certain people because that's what people have done. And I don't go after them necessarily. I go after the people that's what they're looking for. They're looking for Trump to be the star. They're looking for this talk show host to be the star. They want that person to be the star. They don't want to get off their dead asses or drive-by Republicans. They don't want to do anything. And if they don't like it, they can come to me and tell me how wonderful they are when they've done nothing. Because I'm not buying it. I don't like make-believe soldiers. I don't like phony soldiers. I don't like phony Republicans. I feel like we have church going on. And we have a group called Real Republicans, and most of them are hypocrites. Sound about right? Yeah, that's all they have to do. Taking an interest in a veteran's story about their time in the military is a way to engage beyond just saying thank you for your service. That's what they do. Oh, you were in service? Oh, thank you for your service. I'm done. Let me see. That veteran is homeless right now. Well, somebody else needs to do something. Sound about right, veteran? Thank you for your service. I wish you the best. Now I'm off to the ball game. Now I'm off to this. I'm off to that. Well, I don't know what to do. No, you don't want to do anything. That's the point. Until Americans are totally honest with themselves, I love that today. I really do. We have a Jim Jones society drinking the Kool-Aid of the very people they don't like. There you go. You have the Jim Jones society they're drinking the Kool-Aid. They are. The media puts it out there. Oh, no, I don't. Yeah, yes, you do. You have a mask on. Give me a break. I'm really sorry to hear about your troubles. I'll pray for you. You know, it's really funny because when I tell people I am not a religion fan, They take that as though God's got something to do with it. They really do. They go, well, you don't care about God? I said, I didn't say that. I just don't like religions. Religions are, look, and if it works for you, that's great. But religions are a great way to store hypocrites. I go to church on Sunday. That's all I have to do. And believe me, I've seen it. I've seen it. Because in their daily lives, it's a totally different deal, just like we have here. A nation of hypocrites. Who would want to listen to this show when I'm tearing you down? Good morning. Sandy, why would you listen to this show? I'm so negative. I want to go up to people and slap them around a little bit. I do that anyway. I want to slap them around a little bit and say, start getting involved. You know, we got real Republicans here where you actually have a chance to be part of it. You know what I'm tearing down? You're right. Tear me down and build me back. I'm tearing you down because what you have become, not you, but what people have become are a bunch of hypocrites. And until they look in the mirror and say, you know something? Dave's right. Nothing's going to change. It really isn't. Oh, I really care. You know, I'm going to tell you something. When I go look at the contributions to real Republicans, and I see the very people trying to tell me what I need to do, and I know they don't do anything except complain, do you actually think for 1 second that when they tell me something they don't like about me that it matters? Because the one difference between myself and many of the very people that watch this show that are really are caring Americans, they can go look in the mirror and say, are you doing what you can? They are. We have veteran here. He served his country. Is he done? Hell no. He's involved with an organization down in Springfield, Missouri, MRA, Missouri Republican Assembly. It's kind of like ours here in this area. He's doing it. He's there. He's working at it. He's doing his thing. He's not done because he's a patriot his whole life. You know, I know people laugh at me, and I'll tell you, I look at that silly song that's part of my show. I Am American. I have to hold back the tears. Because I am American. I do. And I look for all those kids out there who stand up, and I'm waiting for the kids watching the show to stand up, those or the ones that refuse to watch it or watch other shows and say, please find this out. Please do that because I don't want to do anything. I want you to do it. But hey, thank you for your service. I don't want to, I'm one of the very few out there that like to hear, thank you for all you do. When it's from people don't do anything. Because I'm such a jackass that I would look at these same people and say, well, no thanks for what you don't do. Thank you for what you refuse to do. I mean, no thanks for not doing what you refuse to do. That's where I am with this. I like that. Instead of hearing thank you for your service, I prefer you sit down with me and listen to my experiences. Get to know me. I feel that same way, veteran. I do. People think of, they think I'm going to go somewhere and I think I'm hot stuff. I don't think that at all. When I go places, I'm just a guy with a microphone. That's all I am. I'm no better than anyone else here. When I first started doing radio, about 20 years ago, I remember I was so scared. But I never thought it was, as I got better, never really got good at it, but when I got better, my guests would feel like, well, you're a professional. And I'd say, whatever. We're all here for the same reason. And to me, I don't think I've ever felt superior, and I'll bet you haven't either. And is it good to hear? I guess a little bit. but it's lip service. It's really just lip service, isn't it? I mean, very few people have said, well, why did you go protest this? Why did you go do this? And I do tear people down. I know I do. Because I want them to be aware of who they really are instead of what they're trying to portray themselves to be. I really care about my country. I have a flag right here. That shows I care. That's bullshit. You know what that reminds me of? That's like saying, I'm really a good dad. I gave sperm for 3 children. I go to the bar every night. I do this all the time. But hey, I'm a dad. I care. And I don't want to get into much of this, but, I actually been chastised by people because they don't know who I am. They don't understand who I am, who want to give me grief because I'm not a rich person or whatever. That money's not more important to me than it is for others. But let me tell you something. When I raised my son pretty much by myself, and I'm not bragging about this, but you know what? I didn't sit in a bar every night. I was there with my kid. And I did my stuff with my friends on weekends. He wasn't there visiting his mom, but you know something? And when my daughters came to our house, that's what we did. We did things together. I didn't sit me happy ass in a bar. I didn't do that. I know people that do that. I was the coach of your kids. I took my job seriously, just like this one here. I don't want kudos for it. I want you to help. I will be glad to. I know that, I have so much respect for very few people. I really do. I know that sounds awful. I do. I thank you for giving it to me. I will gladly take a look at it. I know that I can talk to certain people. I know that, and I know that I can trust them. I know that I can. Let me make sure I save this before I lose it. I know that they've done what they can for their country. I know that. I also know that veteran is not a phony. I know a lot of these people. I know a lot of these people are phonies that watch this show, but a lot of them are. They say things, but they don't do what they need to do. You know what? I want to take what you said there. Tear me down to build me back up. I'm tearing down the garbage. We have a very bad building here, okay? It can't hold up squat. It won't do anything. It doesn't have any guts. It doesn't have any stamina. And I'm trying to build you back up to be a real patriot. That's what I try to accomplish. Because that's the most important thing to me in my life. It really is. I didn't serve my country back then. And I was just telling Wendy the other day, I said, you know what? There's 2 things about me, about Vietnam veterans that I admire. One of them is that they said, you know what? They're calling me, I'm going. I didn't go. I was Vietnam area. And of course you got some people say, why didn't you go? Number one, by the time I was there, I knew it wasn't a war we were trying to win. I knew it. Well, you should have gone anyway. Sorry. I don't want politicians trying to kill me. I'm not interested in it. It's not like World War II where you went there to defend your country. You tried to save the world. We weren't doing anything except wasting time. And we all know that now. But you know what? I have never had one Vietnam vet ever knock me for not going into service. Not one. But I will do everything I can for the rest of my life to do what I can to help bring our country back to what it can be. But I don't want to be your hero. I want everybody to be heroes. We don't need, if you only had one hero in the military, we'd lose every war. Every war. If we would have had politicians truly trying to do what they said they'd do in the Vietnam War, we win. Did you notice when a guy named Donald Trump was in charge? He said, we're going to take care of ISIS, and they did. They did. I just saw a commercial by a gentleman. He and his wife both served in the military, and they had 2 children, and his wife had to go back in, and she was killed by ISIS. He's running for Congress now. Those are people that care about our country. For me, I just don't know how people can stand by and watch our country go downhill. Help people when you can. You get paid back. You do. You do. You never know who a visitation is from. It's really interesting because if I get anything from anybody, and these are the ones that I truly appreciate, is say, Dave, don't stop what you're doing. I know you piss off a lot of people, but don't stop what you're doing because you are changing minds. There's nothing better for me, personally, that's somebody that wakes up and says, man, you finally got me. I'm in. I'm not going to sit there and do that. I can't sit by anymore. I just can't do it. If you feel the inspiration, you can't sit by anymore, then that's great. I hope everybody watching the show right now goes to RealRepublicans.net today. By the way, and contributes and becomes a part of it. I got to say this, though. Yes, a lot of glass houses. You're right about that. There are people out there that want to destroy me. Please know that. One of them, we have cancers in our county. They watch this show all the time because they want to know what I'm doing. Look, that's what you do. You see what the enemy is doing. One of them tried to join Real Republicans the other day. Did they do it because they meant it? Luckily, I caught it because I know other people didn't know who they were. I knew who it was. And let me just put it this way. You can fill in who you want. Derek, it was me that said, hell no. We don't need you there. We have enough problems in the organization of people who are doing nothing. We don't need somebody like you who will do something that's negative towards what we're trying to do. We are real Americans. We are real Republicans. We're not here for ourselves. If you notice, I'm not here to escalate my resume so I'm really something special. That's not what I'm here for. If anyone thinks I'm here to escalate my resume, you don't know anything about me. I couldn't care less. Do I get, why I get mad sometimes? I'll look at what other people have, at least showing who's watching the show. I get mad because I actually go look at those people. I do it on purpose. And I see people there who are phonies. No. Oh, Jim said, didn't you turn 18 when we were pulling out of Vietnam? No. I was 18 in 1971. We were still in Vietnam. We didn't pull out until, 74, I think it was. But no, I would have, from what I understood, my draft number was high, but I was 4F. You know what? It's funny. I had asthma. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't go. The only time in my life I was glad I had asthma. If I'd have gone over to the jungles of Vietnam, I'd be dead. I couldn't have handled the breathing part because of the environment. That's, but I can do it now. That's why there's no excuse. People make excuses all the time when they can't do something. They do it all the time. Well, I can't do it because I'm busy this. No. I'm going to tell everybody watching the show right now, and most of you people know this anyway. If you're new watching this show, I truly believe that most people's value of freedom isn't even on the radar. It is not on the radar. Just because you say it doesn't mean it's true. That reminds me of someone that says, I'm 7'5". Just because you say it doesn't mean it's true. So when you turn around and tell me you're a patriot because you put a flag on Flag Day, or you go, or you do something with a flag on July 4th, or you have fireworks on July 4th, if that's your definition of patriot, and I'm talking about all the military people out there, you know what I'm talking about. It was 75. Okay, that's right. I got to tell you guys, when it came to Vietnam in 1971, when I had to go to the civil service for my civil service deal, it was already said then that if you had a high number, you were going. And I learned two things. Number one, I was classified 4F because of my asthma, so I couldn't go. Number two, that's when I learned I was also partially colorblind too. Just very little, but I am blue-green, something like that. I can't tell. Yeah, you remember that? For you people that don't know this, you've never done the women. I don't know if you've ever done the color test. Well, they got these dots, and they go, okay, what dots in there spell something or whatever it is, and I go, there's none there. I didn't see them. That's when I learned. Yeah, I learned the hard way. I really did. But veteran, thank you for telling me that. But I have to tell you something. There's an ultimate respect. I've told people this too. I've told veterans this. It's like, I didn't go for this reason, and I'm pleased I didn't. I don't make excuses for it. I'm glad I didn't go. But there's a part of me that I wished I could have served my country in some form back then. But from what I understood, and the thing that, let me tell you what scared me about Vietnam more than anything. Number one, I did pay a little bit of attention. Probably not as much as, well, definitely not as much as I do now. But the one thing I did know is in my neighborhood, we grew up in the ghetto, that some of these guys that were drafted came back as the biggest drug addicts you've ever seen. I'm dead serious, the ones that I knew that got drafted, within 5 years, every one of them was dead. And it was war-related. And for you people out there that think you know so much about the service, if the idea, I'll never forget this story, one of my Vietnam friends told me this, the idea of some of the things you had to do to survive that war, I want you to know that. Well, you're right. Okay. Sorry, I was looking at a couple things here. I got one person say we left in 75, dealing in 73. I don't know. I lost my train of thought there. I was going through 1,000 different things. But the one thing I will tell you, though, that when I saw these people die, coming back, drug addicts big time, I knew it was a mess. I didn't want to be part of that. There's no doubt about it. I didn't. But I decided many years ago that I was going to serve my country in this way. And it's a lifetime service for me. I will always do this to the rest of my life. As much as I get mad and run off or whatever. I mean, last few weeks ago, I was so pissed I couldn't even do a show on Wednesday because all these Trump supporters that care so damn much, 8% of them showed up at the election. If you don't think I wasn't furious, you don't know me. I was furious. There were tears in my eyes. Like, what the hell is wrong with you people? And it makes me, but knowing me, give me a couple days, and I come back. And it's like, I'm not quitting. Just because they did doesn't mean I'm quitting. I have a lot of people who said, don't quit. And I always want to ask them, why are you quitting? Why did you quit? Not that most of them that say that are actually doing something. I arrived in South Korea in April 1974, South Korea was a holding area for troop redeployment from Vietnam. So sorry, Jim. I think you're wrong because the veteran was there. Maybe you thought something else, but no, I didn't think they left in 73. They didn't. So I don't know. You guys can argue about it. I don't know why you can't see that on here. But by the way, next Monday, I don't know if I'm doing a show tomorrow because I missed Monday. But next Monday, I'll be back to normal on my regular Facebook and the rest of it. We don't have to go through Wendy's Facebook anymore. I mean, it's work kind of, but at least the things will be back to normal. I have to do my best not to get... I got to tell you something. The reason I was in Facebook jail last time was because of the people that weren't doing anything. That's exactly why. I was furious. And my friend, Queenie B there, it's all her fault. She didn't do it on purpose. I'm just joking, but she put something on Facebook, and I was furious with the very people, the very hypocritical, phony people that were telling me how much they care, and they didn't bother to do anything. We had just gotten done. I know what it was. I was working on a printer here, trying to get stuff done, save money because people weren't contributing enough. I was trying to do everything I could, and guess what? I lost it. I was so mad. So why would they gave tons of money? I have to. You know what? I agree with you, but right now I have to work within. It doesn't cost me a penny, okay? I have to work within the system that gets the most listeners. That's what I have to do. It's easy to say. I agree with you, though. Don't get me wrong. I agree with you. And I hope to eventually be off of Facebook. Actually, I would like to see how well some of these other platforms work out. I have never been excited about any of the other platforms. I'm on them. But, I have to admit that Facebook has a great platform. They've developed it. It's done really well. It sucks in many ways, though, because they're leftists and that's it. I'm using them. Let's put it that way. That will not last forever. All right, my friends. I actually have to go do a job today, so I'm going to end the show. I appreciate everybody listening to the show. Thank you so much. Please go to realrepublicans.net. Don't let me down. Put your name down there, and please contribute because we need the money. We're going to do something really big here, and we want you to be a part of it. And to me, if you really do give a damn, then act like it. So, all right, thanks for listening, and I will see you maybe tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. Have a good day.
You can't quit. That's why not? I get fired. You can't fire me. Why not? He quit. Over? Did you say over? Nothing is over until we decide it is. Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? Hell no!
Sherman, forget it, he's rolling.
It ain't over now. Because when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Who's with me? Let's go! Come on!
Thanks. I needed that.